The show is Prudent Woman with myself, Rulani Baloi. You are welcome again. We are grateful to have time to spend with you. We'd like to invite all of you. Today is a special day. You know, the Lord every day gives us new messes and new opportunities for us to empower ourselves to become better people. Tonight, I would like to invite you, all of you who are joining us on our Facebook page, Bold Moves Radio, those of you who are with us on YouTube, you are welcome. And tonight, it's a special show. We would like to engage with you. So I invite you to write whatever that comes to your mind around the topic that we're talking on today. Please converse with us. Those of you who are listening to us on Bold Moves Radio, you are welcome also. Unfortunately, you cannot send us live comments, but you are welcome to send your comments via WhatsApp. The number is 081 358 8745. I would like to repeat it is 081 358 8745. We are excited tonight. Our topic, I'm sure you have seen it through our different social media pages. It's developing positive engagements during school holidays. This topic, I'm sure it's full, it's just got a lot in it. One can be asking themselves, what are they talking about? But you made the right choice by tuning with us. You will understand what we will be talking about. But to us at Bold Moves Radio, we felt this is a very, very important topic to be discussed. It's something that as women, as families, we should be discussing about it time and again so that we find better ways of engaging. This topic came about the fact that today, as we see it, most of the schools are closed. Most of the children are back home with their parents. But I know as a parent, one of them, I complain and I say, when the school closed, I do not know what to do with my children. I complain that I'll buy grocery every week instead of once a month because they never stop closing the fridge. I complain that they're just everywhere. They are lazy. And this show, it's here to assist us, all of us, to converse. Let us put our minds together and help each other to become prudent women. Let us talk and say, how can we engage our children? It is an honor for us this evening that we are going to have this conversation. Yes, of course, with you back home, but on studio, I have with me Teacher Carol Shilubane. She's here with us. She's going to be talking to us. These are the people whom we want them to keep our children. If it was possible, they'll keep them 24 hours and we only take them out from the cupboard. Yeah. So, we have Teacher Carol. We're honored you're going to be hearing from Teacher Carol. And next to Teacher Carol, I have Princess Kakasane. She's a curriculum advisor, and her specialty is life orientation. I would like to believe all of us we understand when we talk life orientation. That's a subject that is very important. But I have observed that with the schools doing their utmost best and curriculum advisors doing their utmost best to make sure that the curriculum on life orientation is full of information, of knowledge that they're supposed to be empowering our children. Without us as parents, it is useless because we need to take part. And lastly, I have Sesmanzai. Sesmanzai, she's in people development, but she's here tonight as a parent. In this discussion, she's going to be representing a parent who would like to have perspectives from all of you ladies talking to us as women on how to be prudent, how to intentionally impact our children during school holidays. Make use of this time. We always say time is precious. I wonder why, when it comes to our children, whom are being sent home for just few weeks, and we complain when we know time is precious. So tonight, I would like us to converse, talk about this issue. How do we now make use of this time to empower our children to do our part? We know the school does this portion and then we have a responsibility for this portion. And how do we go about it? Please help us. I know most of us were frustrated. Teacher Carol, I would like to start with you. If you like to greet the audience, but as well as you greet the audience, please tell us, why is it important that there must be school holidays? Can't we just take them to school 12 months in a year, all round, 365 days?
Greetings, audience, and greetings to everyone. As my host already said, I'm Teacher Carol. That's my name, Teacher Carol.
Yes, that's her name. Even when you look
That's
for
my
her on
name.
social media, she's Teacher Carol.
You will find Teacher Carol. Yes, as you said, it's why is it important that we have school holidays? As much as we love our little ones and we can have them throughout the year, but it is very, very important so that they have a break in between. Because when the children go to school, we're talking of development. And development is holistic. Holistically means their mind, their body, and also their spirit is engaged.
Yes.
And as they go on doing that, they become tired. They cannot just carry on and on and on and not have that break to get energy, to get more energy. Because as we look, the school focuses on the mind, and they are nowadays schools have changed.
Yes.
It's no longer that time that when they go to school, they just sit and absorb what the teacher said or what the teacher is teaching them. They are there, they are waking. From morning when they get to class, they are engaged. Physically, they are engaged. And we talk of they must be developed. There must be development holistically, meaning the body must be involved. So that break from the daily routine. Remember, these little ones, they wake up every morning, they go to school. That routine, they need to have that break to change from the daily routine. And also in the schools, we speak of healthy mind in their healthy bodies.
Yes.
They are so engaged also with sports. We have seen that nowadays, mostly the kids who are mostly involved in sports, they do well in academics. And you will bear with me that as they carry on doing their day-to-day life, the body, they get exhausted. So the break is needed. They need to go and recharge. You will bear with me, if the battery is flat, the battery is flat.
Yes.
There's nothing that you can do. Even if you want to still pour more and more as teachers, if the batteries are flat, then they need to have that break to go and recharge.
You know, Teacher Carol, your opening statement brings something to me. I was rebuked this other time because I have a 6-year-old who's in grade 1, and I thought during school holidays they must continue exactly with the work they're doing at school. And one teacher who overheard me speaking said, "No ways, they must have time to rest. You should be able to find other ways to make sure that you cover for that." And we'll come back to that discussion as we continue. I would like to move on to Princess Kakasani, our curriculum advisor. I would like to invite you to greet our audience, but as well, maybe if you can enlighten us, why is it important that children, maybe let me put it this way, what is it that the responsibility of parents? You are responsible for the curriculum in terms of the academics, but I would like to believe you also have an understanding why, what is it that the parents should play when we talk about the development of a child.
Good evening, our host, Mama Rulani, and all our listeners or viewers. Yes, on the issue that you have just asked, we need as parents to be able to make our children not frustrate us. First and foremost, we need to understand them and what they are also going through.
Yes.
Like parents are going to work, children are going to school. We are all like working, we are all doing something. And then we shouldn't take it like when the school have closed and our children are resting or we are working or whatever way, they don't get tired. There is like nothing they are doing. They also get tired. They need rest. So as parents, the first and the foremost thing is to understand that every one of us need rest.
Yes.
And we should be able to, in our understanding, accommodate each other when we want to make it successful. We need to accommodate each other. In other words, we should not think this one was doing this, it's not important, he should be not be doing anything or or like his role is not important. Let me say, put it this way. Whether this one is cleaning, whether this one's duty is going maybe to school, coming back at 11 o'clock, we all have roles that we are playing and they are all important and we all need to rest. When we want to do it very well, we need to understand and respect this and accommodate each other. That's the most important thing. Other than that, we undermine the role of the other person and become frustrated. Why does he wake up at 9 o'clock? Why does this happen? So we become frustrated. This should not be happening. This should not be happening in our homes. We become like the holiday becomes stressful. It frustrates us. But when we have understanding of each and everyone's role in a family, what is doing and understand, no, we should not think this one's role is more important, this one is not, and then this one was supposed to rest, this one was not supposed to rest or to have a holiday. Then we'll find it easy. Understanding each other, accommodating each other, respecting each other's rules. That's where we should start, because that's where the problem is. When somebody start to think my role is more important than the other one, then I don't understand you when you say, can I wake up at least at 9 o'clock tomorrow? Because I think you didn't do much. You were not doing anything. You were only doing this. Then it becomes a problem. And that's where you find the holidays start to be boring, because my expectation is she was supposed to be, because she's only doing this, and it's not the case.
So what's important is for all of us to understand that each one of us is important. And even the word of God says so, that there are too many parts of a body. A body is not made up of one part, but it's many parts. So there is a need for us to understand. And Princess Kakasani, you are very right when you say we tend to think because they just wake up and go to school, they are not important. Now where they can't say they are tired. Yeah. And that's what we tend to do in every sphere. We tend to leave behind our children. Last week we had a topic on violence, gender-based violence and abuse. And during the discussion, we realized that we tend to leave our children behind, when there's abuse or violence in the family. We tend to think it's only the parent who's suffering from that and never do anything for the child. So this evening is very interesting. I see Prudent Women. I'm sure most of you are trying to run away with the gadget so that the children should not listen. But it's important, let them listen as well, because there are certain things that they will learn. It's a collaborative effort for us to have a positive engagement, for a family to have joy, peace, and happiness. It's a collaborative engagement. It's not single-sided. But of course, thank you so much for reminding us that our children, they are waking by going to school. That's why most of the forms, they will say occupation, and then they expect you to write student. Yeah, coming to you, Osman, I deliberately allowed the two professionals to talk on the issue and engage you to greet the audience, and also ask you to elaborate to us the frustrations. I've tried to highlight them, but I would like them to come from our parent guest. The frustrations that parents face as the schools close. What is your experience?
Thank you. To your viewers, your listeners, and in particular, all the prudent women out there. And my name is Manzai, as you have introduced. I'm a mother. I don't call them my children. I always say two blessings call me mom. because I believe that I'm blessed.
Yes.
So I never call them my children, I call them blessings. So at the same time, in a spiritual way or in terms of according to the gospel, I think the moment you become a parent, it means God has trusted you to take care of his property, to take care of someone else's life. This is someone who does not, who can't do anything. They're 100% dependent on you day in, day out. And as you continue to grow as a parent, the reality of things is that today's parent, the parent in 2022, is different from the parent in the yesteryears, from when my parents were still parenting me. And that being the case, we need to grow with the times. We need to move with the times. And what I've realized as a parent is that kids, our children, have more. They're more vocal than when we were.
Yes.
They are more. This constitution has covered them well. They
And
were
I
born
think
in the
even
right time.
we should also understand that they're living in
Yes.
an era
Yeah.
where information is at their
Technology is
fingertips.
there. That's why I'm
Yes.
saying the parent of 2022 is different from the yesteryear's parent, because
Yeah.
you're surrounded by technology, you're surrounded by the constitution, and you're surrounded by the freedom of expression. These kids have a voice. Beyond anything else, they have a voice. And they know that they are unique. They are the chosen generation, so to
Yes.
say. And as a parent, what I've sought to do as a mother, especially as a single parent, was that I need to love my children. They have become my dear friends before my other friends could come
Yes.
in. I sought to put them as my first priority. And every time when I come back from work, if the day was bad at work, I would be happy because they gave me this sense of healing that I will love you, mommy. Things will be okay. How was work today? So I made a schedule for myself on how I'm going to do this parenting thing so that it works for me. The first step was to start early in a day. If I was waking up at 5 before I became a mother, I wake up 2 hours earlier so that I can cook breakfast and dinner at the same time, so that when we come back, we all get to catch up with the day,
Yes.
how the day went. We all find out. I can also get to exercise, and then I give them my full undivided attention. And at the same time, I took advantage of events like the lockdown. We had the level 5 lockdown. And that's when you realize I saw other viral messages going, if the schools are closed, each teacher must take their children.
Yes.
Take your whole class.
Your 40
and sit-
children.
Yes,
Teacher
and then
Carol will be
sit
sick with
with
40
them.
kids.
Yes, sit with them at home, because really now. And I decided to turn that around. And I've decided to apply, it's a couple of formulas that I came up with as a parent. The first and foremost was a few things, like the qualities that I thought would work between me and my children, was to love them unconditionally. Secondly, to trust my children. Thirdly, to believe in my children. And most importantly, and their respect. As much as I want them to respect me, I have to earn that respect. And I've learned to trust them in whatever they do. Whenever she says, "Hey, I saw this recipe, I want to try it," I would allow them an opportunity to mess
To
up
mess
the
up,
kitchen
yes.
and to learn from the mistakes. If they put too much sugar, it will be a positive criticism that next time maybe put a little bit, you know. And I've realized that during lockdown, it was just me and them. We couldn't travel. Remember, level 5 was on another level. And that's when I realized that this is a chance to really bond with the girls. We became the 3 musketeers, you know. Instead of sitting on a couch, we had an exercise routine in the morning before we had to do this homeschooling, forced homeschooling. And I became a teacher somehow.
Yes.
And my 6-year-old at the time was starting grade 1, and she couldn't understand that. Why are we not going to school? Why are you now a teacher? You know, it was difficult, but it was the moment where I realized how much I loved my children, how much they loved me, and I've realized that they're not the same. You know, each and every one of them is different. One is quiet, one is more vocal. And as parents, we have different children in the house. You might be having 4 children. One can be having a condition like Down syndrome, bipolar. It's all these conditions. And
yes.
we need to master each and every one of our children and understand them, the fact that they're not the same. And I've applied the 4 whiskey whiskeys and a hotel formula. I call it that. When each of them, one of my blessings come to me, say, Mommy, this is the story. All I do is why, what, when, where, and how. Those are my 4 whiskeys in a hotel. And they seem to have worked because at the time one was doing grade 11 and she was preparing for matric. I had to step in and make sure that I help her study. I had
Yes.
to step in and make sure that she is not burdened by all this lockdown and all those things. I taught them, let's just pray because this is beyond our control. We cannot control this. And we made activities that worked for the 3 of us so that by the time we go to sleep, we have earned the day, you know? So I must say that engaging with your children during school holidays, for me, I always look forward to them. Even though at some point I feel like I want a week alone, you know, I want a week alone.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, you know,
Yes.
because again,
Yeah.
you have to take time off being a parent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the challenge being that there will be that my sister just took my 8-year-old now, but already I'm missing her. You know, the moment I start feeling that I can hear a pin drop in the house, then I know that it's quiet. It's
too
abnormal.
quiet.
It's
Yeah.
just too quiet for my liking. So hence I'm saying we need to listen to our kids. We need to teach them to listen to us, and we need to make them understand that at this point, maybe for 2 hours, mommy needs some quiet time.
Yes.
And I ended up watching cartoons with them and enjoying the cartoons. During the lockdown, the Dragon Ball Super became my favorite. And at some point, when they changed that channel, I'll be the one grumbling that, I want that channel. I want the Dragon Ball Super. So we got to love that together. And it's just amazing what I've learned from the girls, you know, as I'm saying.
I think Ausmanzai has just given us a whole lecture on how we're supposed to engage with our children. And we so much appreciate it. And I would like to believe, Prudent Women, you are listening, you are taking the notes. And after this, of course, we are becoming prudent every Sunday. We will not be part of those viral messages that goes everywhere, talking about the frustrations, asking Teacher Carol to take all the kids with her. But of course, I would like to believe, Teacher Carol, there's still something that you expect us as parents to do for you in order. I can just imagine my little blessings. If I just keep quiet on the schoolwork and all she does is go to the swimming pool, by the time you come to January, she will have forgotten everything. So I would like to invite our Teacher Carol together with Princess Nkakasani as our professionals to help us. What will be your advice to us as parents on how to make sure that our children don't forget everything that you have done, because you are building, isn't it? And at grade 1, I think you are just starting, because at grade R, they were just enjoying the coloring. But at grade 1, they're starting, they are writing, they are reading. What is it that as parents we should do now during school holidays, or how can we introduce certain lessons to them?
Okay. Thank you, Sis Rulani. And as I've said earlier, that it's more about development, and foundation is laid when they are still young. Like you said, we are teaching them something, we are laying foundation as they move from. It was not all coloring, if I may correct that, because it was a skill that was learned through coloring.
It's again, I will say, whenever she gets home, there's nothing you've been doing. You've just been coloring the whole day. You know, thank you for rebuking
and you
me.
think that coloring it's a waste of time, and it's a pre-writing skills, because they need to be prepared before they go and start writing. You cannot, well, like parents, you understand, or viewers, when you are driving your car, you first warm up the car and you make it ready to. So those are the skills that we do. We call them perceptual skills. They are really needed. Those jumping and moving under, and it's all important and needed towards their pre and readiness for the school. And when it comes to what can be done when the school is closed as the kids go home for the holidays, I would love to say, as one of the speakers mentioned here, that in the Bible it says, train up a child. There's a verse that says, train up a child in the way that you should go. And let me go to training. When should training happen? Because if we don't focus on that, because parents can think, okay, I'm not a teacher, what must I do now? But you're forgetting that before the child goes to school, the training must have happened. So that means that you are basically a teacher.
Yes.
Before a child goes to school, you are the teacher before the teacher. So the training must happen in those years. There are a lot of things that needs to be done before the child goes to school for the child to be able to go and learn. And for example, I'll mention responsibilities. There's no way the teacher will start academically, they start teaching them we start teaching them how to read and how to write. We focus on their mind, we focus on what they can do, their minds can do, their bodies can do, but there are things that there's a skill that is needed. And who's going to impact, or who's going to now? I always said kids are like papers, plain papers, nothing written. Like my fellow speaker said, God gave you those children God trusted you with these children, and knowing that you are the best candidate to come and help this child, to raise this child. And I believe God has empowered every parent. So I'm just clearing that, you know what, you've got the skill in you. You've got what it takes to teach. It's not, I know, lockdown forcefully, you were forced to realize to realize what you have in you, because not everything will be delegated to the teacher. There are a lot of things that parents can involve there. As much as I said about the skills, there are a lot of skills that these children will need as they go out in the world. We are raising the nation that must be responsible. We are raising the nation that needs the skill out there. So during school holidays, I will say to parents, use that time. It's a perfect time to use it for another skill. You leave the academics to the school, but focus on the other skills. That it's the perfect time to know your child.
Yes.
Remember, it's now they are there. They want to understand, engage them, talk to them, understand them, what they want, so who they are. You will only know them if you engage them, if you give your time to them. Remember, not all kids will become doctors.
Yes.
Not all kids will have will go that route. Some of them, it's the skill that they can acquire from their house. It can be a cooking skill. It can be something that you will, but you can only know them if you engage your child.
Engage them.
And I always say, if you become absent as a parent, if you are not engaging as a parent, unfortunately, now we've got social media who will take over, and then your child will be raised through social media. They've got their friends. They learn better from their friends. They will learn other things. If, as a parent, you don't come in and use this time, this is like a perfect time. I think it's not even enough. It should be extended, because there's a lot that needs to be done in that time before they can go back to the school, back to the teachers to impact their knowledge intellectually.
Oh, Teacher Carol, now that you are talking, you make me realize that indeed it's not enough, because with what you are saying, when you talk of skills, and Osman's I having spoken about, let them bake and put a lot of sugar, let them mess up the kitchen. I realize that it is only in the house or at home that you are able to recognize those skills. And as a nation, we keep on complaining and saying, when you talk of technical skills, our nation is not skilled in that area. Most of our children, we've taken them to universities to become lawyers, to become doctors. And not to say it's wrong to become lawyers and doctors, but there must be a passion. That's why some of them come back home, because they don't have a passion for that, and sit and say there's no work. Because they've not been skilled on something that they wanted. And you rightfully put it to say, we are all entrusted by God in order to raise these blessings. And if we do not give ourselves time to be able to identify the skill, so that when we send them back to school, you are able to skill them properly, then it says to me, the blame is with us as families. When we look at our nation and it's foreigners who come here, whatever you want to do, it's a foreigner who is able to help us, because our children are sitting at home with master's degrees and a whole lot of other things, which, because, and not to say those skills we want them, but because it's not in the person, that's what's happening. I would like to invite Princess Kakasan to respond to it. I know you are more into life orientation, and as mothers, yeah, I know someone also watching back home. When we talk of the little ones, your little blessings, Teacher Carol, those ones, they are nice because they can just mess up, but they are around the house. But we have another group, which I know Princess Kakasani knows very well, this group. Once they get to teenage stage, when it's school holidays, the challenge is, it's sad to say this, you go to work and only to find that you are called, your child has committed a crime, because they had their hands empty, they had nothing to do. It's school holidays, and you still have to go to work, because some of us do not have a luxury of saying you can be off during that time, but you can try. It's something that we can work on, to say, I will not go on holiday or on leave during school days, I'll try to go then. But again, they're at a level where you can leave them by themselves. I think they're in a position where they are expected to take care of themselves. So I know as a department, you work very hard. Your curriculum on life orientation is to try to highlight to them all these things, that when you do 1, 2, 3, it's an offense. This can happen to you. This can happen to you. This, but because they are children, and a lingering mind is very dangerous. Yeah. So, Princess Kakasan, what will you advise parents with teenagers at that level, even university students? What will you advise them to do, or how can they engage their children during this time?
Thank you for the difficult question, which is a bit global, but I'll try to answer it. A holiday, let it be a time to know each other better. Let it be time to enjoy each other's presence and to learn from each other, but most importantly, to know each other better. So when I'm with them, maybe let's say is now that it's holiday, I'm with my kids. Let me give them the attention so that I know, or tell them what is expected. It should not be like, because it's holiday, everything goes.
Yeah.
It won't work well. It's a holiday, but let there be expectations, things that we agree upon as a family. This should not, the fact that it's holiday doesn't mean everything goes. If this was not used, maybe we don't do this at this home, it still continues. It doesn't mean that now that you are not going to school, you just roam around everywhere, because even if you don't maybe commit a crime or do something, something can happen to you if you are just anywhere.
Yes.
So we need to train our children, but most importantly, as parents, we need to force ourselves to go near them, to make them open up. We show them the way, we talk to them until we come to a level of understanding each other. Like with the holiday, now you can have, maybe as a family, with your children, maybe a mini schedule or a mini plan. What can we be doing? And then if we are doing this, maybe you no longer want, not something that we are doing vigorously, in a relaxed way. But then
Yes.
if one want to go somewhere, he must say, I'm going to such a place. And for what? What are you going to do? You just can't say, I'm just going anywhere. I'm just no jika jika. Things like that. Yes. We need to redirect them, because it's still parenting. even during holiday. They still need to be parented, they still need to be guided, they still to be shown the way we need to orientate them in their lives, as to showing them this is good, this is not, this is good company, this you need to avoid. So they should not be at large. We need to come on, but make it interesting. You know, sometimes our children, I don't know whether they word disobey can be right, but find us as parents frustrating or strict or boring, because we don't have time to understand and engage with them and show them in a nice way.
Yes.
Already we are angry because he has done something. We need to come to a level where they still see the love as parent, that I'm intervening in your life as a parent to show the way, not as to punish, not like I don't want you to have these friends, I'm choosing friends for you. You need to come in still with love to guide and orientate them in their life. So the most important thing is to know our children, to be near them. And this time of holiday, we must know them better. Oh, this one, he likes this. This is his hobbies. This is his, and you encourage on that level, so that he become engaged or she become engaged. When she looks, I wanted to go to the mall, now 6 o'clock, the mall is closed. You engage them in those activities that they need, and you support it. You make sure you make those passion. Learn, this one love this, this one also love doing this, and you support them in those ones.
Those areas.
And then the moment you do that, they become they do positive things. They forget about going roaming around because they have something to do. Some of our children, they just don't know what to do. We can have a mini plan when we wake up. What time can we wake up? 9 o'clock. Okay, the latest is 9. What will you do? Susie will be doing this and this. Jane will be doing that, and then by 11 o'clock we are free. But then, if we finish all of us by 10, 11 o'clock, what can we do collectively?
Yes.
You know, but not as a punishment, like I don't want you to go out because you will mess up with your friends. I'm engaging you. You find that the holiday become boring, become stressful. We are no longer happy at home. It must be done looking
With
at the
love.
hobbies, the interest, and with love. With those ones, tertiary, that have come back also, those ones, at least they are starting to see life better where they are. They are starting to be more focused. They're starting to have direction. Though you may find a smaller percentage is still there that they are lingering, but as far as I know, when you are now at the university, when now you go to the exam, even if first year, it start to line you up. You start to have a sense of, my parents are even paying a lot of money. If I fail, what? So even when they come home, because they've left university, their friends there, and they come back here, they don't have that much time of doing that. Mara, let it be most importantly time that we bond with them, knowing even if how maybe is he behaving. Some of the parents, you see, we just find the result and become surprised. There is no bond. You can bond with your children not in a controlling way, but in a way where you understand. And when you want to understand your child, you will be able to see, well, things are not going well there. In the way you will interact with them, talk to them, ask you questions, how they relate with other, with whom, what do they like, those things will lead you to know your child better. This one at school is not going to school. I'm not making it. It's not the result, everything you will start to see there. So most important, we will never achieve so many things if we don't know a person. Even if I want to help you, if I don't know you, where do I start? So this is a time where we must know our children better and try to advise, try to show them. Let's avoid don't do this, don't do this, because they will do.
Yes.
But let's try to get in, knowing as a parent, I have that experience, and you don't have the experience. Then you get in a way that you open his eyes to see, no, this one, will lead me. If you start, don't go at night, don't roam around, they will definitely
Do
go to
it.
test for it, no
What
matter
is
what.
it?
So engage them and be a friend.
Yeah.
Be a friend to them so that they can be able to open up. Be a friend so that they are able to open up their happiness, their interests, their likes, their passion, and their frustration as well.
So what I'm actually getting, it's the holidays, the school holidays are a time for us to know our children, for us to give them an opportunity to be skilled on those areas that we are good at. And as you speak, you make me realize that the saying that each and every family is called for a specific purpose, it's very true. And if we believe in that, it means it's only at home that you will be able to identify the skill that your child has, because it's within the family. It's right there. That's why this blessing was brought in that very same family. But I know I'm looking at this man's eye and asking myself if you agree with the chores. I know it's very difficult to get the chores, but probably we should agree, you and I as parents in this panel, to say maybe we have been doing it wrong. We have not been doing it correctly, because we've been saying you must do what, you must not. So probably we've been doing it very wrong. I would like to invite you. What is your take when it comes to chores? Because I know this, blessings, they are very difficult when it comes to being responsible. When you allocate duties, some will go to the bathroom and not come out. I know those ones. You will call every time you call, they're in the bathroom. Yeah. Or some, they just have a headache, time and again, a very convenient one. Yeah. But what is your experience as a parent when it comes to chores, and which I would like to believe it's very important, prudent women? Very, very important for us to give our children chores, because I would like to believe the chores that you will have as a family is normally linked with your calling as a family. Yeah.
Like I said, being a parent is also a calling on its own. But at the same time, when you look at it, the word parent-teacher association goes a long way.
Yes.
The moment when I started being a parent and I got that diary with the PTA, that it stands for Parent-Teacher Association, it means it
There
takes
must
a
be
child.
association.
It takes a village to raise a child, by the way, and the parent is a parent away from the parent. And coming home, for me, I had to create an enabling environment. I have a teenager who's 18, and I don't know what they call them, but she's in the foundation phase.
Foundation phase.
Yeah, and she's 8. So you can imagine what I'm going through. There's this teenager now who's surrounded by Mujolo now, and she's surrounded by her getting a degree now that she's in her first year, surrounded by a lot of things. And the other one is learning, is up and coming, So I had to make sure that as a parent, I listen to both of them. They're 10 years apart, and they have their different views, opinionated. The list is endless. And what I did, I said to them, I don't shout at my children.
Okay.
I decided not to let being a parent change my personality. And what I do, I just talk to them that, okay, sometimes I get tired. So if we don't do this, if we don't do that, I need help. And then the house is going to be dirty. How are you going to welcome your friends in a dirty house? If they knock and you'll be saying, come in,
Yes.
won't you be embarrassed about that? If you taking your clothes off and you leave them there, what's going to happen? I remember the 18-year-old was 4 at the time. And I said to her, take your clothes, fold them and put them in the laundry. And then every time when I go to the laundry bag, the clothes were folded nicely so as if they are in the closet.
Yeah.
And it happened that she happened to visit her friend. And she came back, she was like, shoo, her room is dirty, her clothes are all over. I said, can you see the
The
difference?
difference,
You know,
yes.
and she was able to help her to pack up
Mm,
because
mm,
a dirty
mm.
house is not a warm house.
Yes.
So that's how it started with my girls. I'm just a simple. I'm not going to be hard of them on them, but I make them choose how they want to be.
Mm,
And I said to them, if you want to be a lady, if you want to drink from that cup, you must wash it afterwards so that you don't have cockroaches. We don't have this. It works at some point, but
so you engage them and show them the
Yes.
positive of doing what you
of
are
doing
suggesting
things.
they
And I
should
said,
do.
and when the other time I happened to have come from work, I was very tired, and they could see that. They said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not okay. I'm really exhausted." And before I knew it, there was a cup of tea on my
Wow.
table. So they got to know that, okay, she's not okay. And now that the other one is at university, not so long ago, I took ill and I couldn't do anything. So when this one came back from school, she was like, "Shoo, you're even sweating." My nephew was there as well. He's 6. And the little boy called 911, like, "My name is so and so. My mommy is sweating.
Yeah.
She's sick."
Yeah.
And you see that the level of responsibility.
So there are benefits from us
Yes.
spending time with our children
Yes.
because it is only after you have
Absolutely.
taught them
Yes. So
that you will
when you
get the
say
benefit.
that the PTA, we are expected to
Correct.
do 50% of the work, and then
The teachers.
actually 80. The
Yeah.
teacher must do 20%. Remember, the teacher is just to teach the child school.
Yes.
You are educating the
Teaching the
child.
child.
So there's a difference between education and school. In this case, education begins after school. When the child go to school, she needs to be there knowing what is expected of her, the responsibility,
Yes,
the
yeah.
respect. The teacher cannot do that. The teacher helps her to write the word respect and to understand the definition of respect. You teaching the child, you're educating the child
What
on
is
how
it?
to practice and to implement the
So the
word.
practicals are at home.
Yes.
Okay.
The theory is in school.
Mm,
And the 5 senses, at grade 1, they learn about 5 senses. That's how they learn through play. But most of the time, those 5 senses must begin at home. You know,
Yes.
so being a parent, and now we have social media. I'm also trying to encourage the culture of reading. That listen, at this hour, now that it's holidays, we will
Yeah.
try and
Maybe if you can hold
Yeah.
on to that your thoughts, Osmantai. I see some of our guests, of our viewers, are commenting. There's a comment linked to what you wanted to say right now. I just want to say to all of you who have just joined us or joined us during this talk, this is a simple talk within amongst women. We are talking on how we can make the school holidays to be useful, beneficial for our children, and you listening to Bold Moves Radio. And please, you can as well participate in the talk by dropping down your comments on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. And I would still like to encourage you, please subscribe to our YouTube page so that you do not miss on the different programs that we have. Because on Bold Moves Radio, we've got a number of programs, and our programs are focused on empowering us as people to become better people, because our slogan is raising the flag for an African child. Ausmans, I see someone is commenting here as saying encouraging our children to read books can also assist. We do so as parents by taking them to bookshops and allow them to choose book titles of their liking. And so this one parent says even we pay for it, because some of us will take them and expect them to use their savings. And if you are trying to teach a culture, I would like to believe they will feel like, oh no, paying for a book, I better pay for a chocolate or for a meal with my friends. So that's very important. You wanted to talk on the culture of reading. I know that one is very close to you.
Yes, it's close to my heart because I like reading. But I'm glad that the blessings also are into reading. They are very much academic, which is a good thing. But I always say to them, we have your phones, but at a certain hour, we're going to use the phones, but at a certain hour, we're going to read.
Yes.
If on Saturday morning we have to, we will start waking up, going to the library, or even at bargain books, they allow you to read inside the store if you can. So you can go there, take your children there, and let them read. Let them pick a book of their choice and read. And the library is also welcoming for these little ones.
Mm.
We go there and then we get to read and understand this and this and that. So I remember my little one saying, I don't want to read about fiction, I want facts. I said, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. She wants to read the facts.
Yes.
I want to know when Nelson Mandela was born. I
And
want
you
to know
start
this.
to
Yes.
realize what are their interests
Yes,
as well.
and I
Yeah.
also mentioned that I have now this 18-year-old.
Mm.
Create an enabling environment
For them.
be their friends before they can hear things from outside. Let them hear them from you first.
Mm,
So I said to her, you know, you can do whatever you want to be, even if you wanted to be a nanny.
mm.
All I do is to ask the 5 whiskeys in a hotel,
Yes.
and that I'm going to be a support structure.
Mm.
And if there's a crash somewhere that you have, talk to me about
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
You know, and I started naming the guy. If maybe she says, oh, I have this guy, I said, oh, okay, is it Zorro? Is it, you know, Zorro in the cartoon is the guy who protects you. Yeah, and then you will be Snow White and the king, you know, those kind of things. And then she'll blush, but it becomes funny but real at the end of the day.
And you are teaching them something
Yes.
very important, because now you are not sitting a child and say, these are the 5 things you must see when you want to choose a partner. For the
Yes.
ones at university.
Yes.
But you are basically teaching them to understand what is it that you are looking for
Exactly.
in Zoro in a
Yes.
nice way.
Yes.
I love you, ladies.
Yeah, and I said
And
to
I'm
her,
so worried that our time is running out. This talk is very nice, and I see our viewers. I see Manvuma Islands saying we must be able to say thank you to our children.
Yes.
Today we in our church service, let me say, during the whole week from Thursday, we had a conference. We were talking. The theme of our conference was Thanksgiving, because our church was celebrating 22 years, and we were taught that it's very important to tell the other person thank you in a family. And I would like to believe that during these holidays, the festive seasons, we are going to tell each other that thank you, as in all of us. And I would like to say thank you so much, ladies, for the talk, you know. But now I want us to leave the children, but we'll have them. But I want us to also bring on board the other members of the family. We are in festive seasons. And you know, by our culture, I remember in September on the 24th, it was Manyalo weekend. Gamo Limpopo. They were saying, if you have a partner coming from Limpopo, you must go with them. Otherwise, you'll find that they're getting married, and don't allow them to live you in a hotel room. So even festive season, and we should not shy away from that culture. It's our culture, but we should be able to understand that the world has evolved. We're in a global environment, that my life here, someone in China has got impact on it because of all this movement of people. So we must be able to change and adapt as we continue. So I would like to invite each one of you, as you say your closing remarks, to just share with us what do you believe should be things that we should do to make the festive season be a time of thanksgiving, as we thank the Lord for having given us our Lord Jesus Christ, because we understand that it starts in the family. For you to appreciate what God has done for us, it starts within the family. So your family first, they must experience something that says it was festive seasons and I've enjoyed having time. As much as we're saying we should spend time with our children, we should be able to spend time with the other members of the family. So it's open. Any one of you can start. I see Osmanzai, you would like to go. Yes, please.
I would say, I can safely say that I want to believe that I'm a good parent, because the outcomes of that, having worked with the teachers, the enabling environment has brought 4 distinctions in my house. And the little one is also stepping into the big sister's footsteps. She's always on top 10 ever since she started school. So listen to your kids, love them. The word unconditional love goes a long way. It's not just a word. But explain to your children what unconditional love and respect is. The teacher will go and teach them how to write those words properly, but practice them. But most importantly, listen to your children, listen to your children, and listen to your children.
And the other members of the family?
And the other members of the family will also get to follow suit. The way you treat your children, they will also get to follow suit and treat them the same way. You know, I always say to them, raise your children the way you want the society to see them. Because at the same time, I have 2 girls. I'm raising other men's wives, future wives.
Yes.
And I want that guy to treat them the way I've been treating them. Because if I'm neglecting them, if obviously the vultures will come. But if I really like them, I'm being with them day in, day out, even in hard times, I've always had them with me. So the next person will be like, yeah, these are her jewels. You know, I shouldn't mess up. Even at school, the universe senses that. So the more you do right, everybody will follow suit. The members of the family become supportive beyond measure. I've been supported day in, day out up until today. That's why I'm saying those 4 distinctions she got in matric were not only produced by myself, but the village that raised her. We did very well, and I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Sis Manzai. I think Teacher Carol would like to come in.
In closing, I just want to say, be approachable. Be there, like you said, listen to the children, be approachable. The one technical skill that I will say to the viewers, how as a teacher, I managed to win the trust of the children in my class is to be there for them. It's to let them know that I believe in them. And you can do that by talking to them, engaging them in a family setup, involve them. When you're doing your planning, you know, children look at us as adults and say, but you're expecting something from them that you did not do. Lead by example.
Yes.
If you involve them, you know, you'll see, even as young as blessings, as 7 years old blessings, they want to be involved in the planning.
Yes.
They want to be part. They want to feel like we are part of the family. They just don't want to just be told, do this, do not do this.
Yes.
And I've got one thing about, you know, kids have got the selective listening. That's what I call it, selective listening. If you always say do not, you know what they do? They skip not and they say do this, do this. The not does not exist in their vocabulary. In fact, it's a selective listening skill that they have developed. When you start talking, they listen to the do and they ignore the not. So they will actually do what you say they must not do. So be there, listen to them, guide them, involve them, make them be part of the family. And you know, when they excel in anything that you feel like I was involved. I'm part of it. Yes. You will not want to play. You will not want it to fail.
Yes.
And they will enjoy it because they know, oh, mommy, when mommy comes home, do not miss that opportunity when you're coming home and you are like, how was your day?
Yes.
You know, that's
important.
A precious question, because they want to know what happened, what you went through. And also with them, they want to know, they can sense that you are happy. They can sense that you are not feeling fine. And they want to be part of you. They want to help in any way, but they can't help it if you always. And lastly, I will say, Christmas is time of giving. The best Christmas present that you can give to your kids, it's not about presents. The present they will not remember, but what you do for them,
yes,
they will not forget. And it's simple things like making food for them, doing something with them, that will impact their life forever. That will never leave them. But if you bought them present of so much, they might not even remember that my mom did this for me, but what you did, it will touch their life. It will stay with them. So be part of their journey. They need you in this journey, and they don't want to be left out. As much as they care about you, please care about them.
Okay. I'd like to invite Princess Kakasan. From Princess Kakasan, what is nice is she's a mother of a community. What is it that we can do to celebrate Christmas? Maybe from the community point of view, to make the community to be a better place, because as we celebrate the gift we have been given, what is it that the community should be doing to celebrate?
I think Christmas, like as we are on holidays, we are going to Christmas. It should be time of sharing, loving each other, embracing each other, closing each other where you see a gap. For me, that's a call. I don't want to have maybe let me say as a leader, I don't want to have this too much gap with my community, with my people. You find Kore, there is a need that even if we can't meet it 100%, let's try something to identify gaps, to identify where there is a serious need, where there is serious lack, and try to do something. Uh, in a manner that even the person did not expect.
Yes.
You make such a difference. You will see, like she was saying, that becomes a gift that one will not forget.
Yeah.
Though we no longer have time. Yesterday, I was somewhere with a band. We asked them, we told them we don't have money, but we're going to take you, pay transport, we go with you. You know, they dance until I was touched to say we did not promise them money. But I was so touched that I have to do something. And I was humbled by the leader. He kneeled down. He was not expecting anything. We must be able to make a difference as they teach us at the church. This time, know each other, identify them, make a difference in a way that they don't even expect. Don't tell them. Let them be surprised. You
Right.
do this for you give, you share love. Those things they will not forget. Like I support her. Present will come and go, but how you make someone feel by closing that gap that you see. I don't want to say, I can see you don't have this. No, I just want to come with the thing that I saw is not there and then close it.
the gap.
So that's the motto of our community, which I think is good. It's good. I usually call the head man because I'm the head of the head men. So I know them. There are those that are not getting salaries. I sometimes make packages for them.
Wow.
I just call them and say, those that are not getting anything, let's give them something, because what do you expect? You call him to a meeting, he come. What did he use to bath? What did he use for transport? But once in a while, if you can also appreciate the volunteering type of work by also giving something. So let it be time of sharing love as well as the little that we have. It can go a long way.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled, and of course, I'm humbled by Princess Kakasane having accepted our invitation to come through as a curriculum advisor. But we do not take it for granted that she's a leader of a community, a big community for that matter. We are humbled, and I'm humbled with the two ladies, Aus Manzai and Teacher Carol, for you having come here and we talk on these things. And of course, we're not saying we know it, but we say, as we start the discussion, we have sparked the fire. Let us continue and talk on it and think about it and make a change and become a prudent woman that you raise your children and the community around you to be a better place. We cannot continue and say South Africa is going backwards. There are no changes when us as the people that God has entrusted this country with, we're not doing anything. So this was the least that we could do as Bold Moves Radio to spark the discussion here. Let us start thinking, what is it that we can do during school holidays? We're not going to be part of those viral messages saying school holidays are bad, but now I expect that we'll see viral messages talking on how we can engage with our children, how happy we are to have our children during this festive season. And of course, as I promised, next week we're going to have a cooking show. Just watch, keep on visiting Bold Moves Radio Facebook page, Bold Moves Radio, so YouTube page. Even come through to our morning devotions, 6 o'clock until 6:30. It's not that long. Come, let us together thank the Lord for this season. You know, it is through what God did for us during this season that we are today called the children of God, and we can be able to stand and do all these things that we are doing. So I'd like to invite you. But on those pages, we will be sharing. I may not tell you when. I want it to be exciting on the recipes that we're going to be using to cook next week. So I would like to invite you, those of you who want to join the cooking, you can let me know through 081-358-8745 so that we can link up with you through our streaming. And then all of you, you can join us. We just wanted to bring a special edition for the Christmas session that let us share on a menu, a special menu, let us do something for our families. It is time that we say thank you to all our family members. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this family. Thank you for marrying me. Thank you for allowing me to become a mother, because it's not a must that they can stick with you. We have a lot of street children. They've run away from their parents. And as I say bye, I would like to appreciate, and if I don't pass this appreciation, I will be jealous. There's a lot of comments here. Viewers are saying they love the panel. They said you ladies look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank
they so
you.
much
Thank
appreciate you. You look beautiful, and I must say to our viewers, they did not give me the script, but they decided to put on black, and they left me with pink. I don't know how it was done, but maybe there's a slate here, and I was left out of the slate. And thank you so much. Of course, today we have Budmusa behind the desk, our producer. You saw I don't think you have ever seen the studio this way. And I've seen some of you appreciating the studio. Budmusa did wonders here. You can see she's a Gen Z. Yeah. So he's a Gen Z. I'm so used to she on Prudent Woman. He's a Gen Z. And we appreciate you so much, Budmusa, for having brought us to our viewers. Thank you. We shall meet with you next week, same time, 6 o'clock until 7 o'clock, and be ready. Check on our Facebook page. Come join us on Thursday. We've got the legacy Minkonzo Yatingwazi with Pastor Strike. Please join. You will learn a lot from those sessions, because he hosts different people who will be sharing on their journeys of life. And some of us, we envy these people from afar, and he brings them very close to us so that we can know how they achieve it. And it's not wrong for you to copy the good things. Have a blessed week ahead of you. We shall see each other next week, same time, same place. Thank you.